Because if you don't know who you have to speak to and you don't know what you're trying to say to them, then what the hell are we creating?
Tell us who you are and what you do in 10 seconds or less.
Okay. My name is Dave Officer, and I am a graphic designer and illustrator. So I make lovely designy things for businesses.
One secret from your world that will blow our minds.
I will attempt to singe your mind. When it comes to design, people make up their minds about what they think about a company aesthetically in 0.05 seconds. There was some research done in 2018 which questioned people on their decision to leave a website, and 94% of people all based their decision on design related to whether it was spacing, font choice, colors, symmetry, all that kind of stuff. Only 6% cited anything to do with the actual content that was on there or anything to do with the usability. Everything else was structured around design. So you can pretty much comfortably assume that same thinking goes with everything else other than websites.
Quick fire out.
I'm sorry, I'm putting in your sound effects for you.
Ilya at age 9 will be very disappointed. Okay, what is the most common wall that you come up against when you're talking to new clients about design?
It's probably, people tend to, for very understandable reasons, be very close to what they're doing, and a bit too close. The thing I find most useful and sometimes most tricky to get people to understand is whatever we're coming up, whatever we're trying to create for their business, it's not for them. If they're not their target audience, then we're not creating a logo for them. So although it's important they need to like it and they need to be proud of it, it's something that's going to represent them, if they're not the person they are marketing to, then it's not for you. So don't get too caught up in whether you love it. Ask the people you want to buy from you if they love it.
How do you deal with the legacy design work left over by someone who had a go in Microsoft Word 15 years ago?
Yeah, that's another tricky one, because sometimes, again, people can be too close to things and they're like, yeah, but it's worked for 15 years. And Doris was so lovely. I don't want to destroy the fine work that she did back in 1992 or whenever it was. So yeah, when it comes to visual identity and getting people familiar with your brand, it comes back to those three things that everybody needs to have to get someone to buy from. It's the whole trust. No, I can't think of what they are. That was a terrible way to start. What's the other one? Oh, that's it. It's easy. No, they need to know you, like you, and trust you. That's the three things. And a large part of that, as we kind of touched on earlier, because people make a lot of their decisions based on the design, and a lot of that comes down to the consistency. Everything that flows across all of the touch points in your brand. That builds trust and it builds likability.
Very first thing people should look at before they even think about visual identity.
It is tone of voice. It's knowing exactly who you're selling to. Those things are the foundation for where all visual things are built on. Because if you don't know who you have to speak to and you don't know what you're trying to say to them, then what the hell are we creating? Yeah. They almost want to. A lot of people just think they just need to get a logo design created quickly so I can throw it on a thing and the rest can come later and it's not that important.
Yeah, it's like the company comes from the logo design sometimes, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Then we'll know what
everybody has one, everybody has a logo. So just knock up a thing and I'll sort everything else out later. And that can be fine, when you're really, really starting and you've got very, very little money and you just want to throw something together really quickly and you'll come to the rest later. And that's fine. And there's a place for that. And there's cheap people to do that kind of stuff. And there is a world for that. But later on, when you realize that it is actually pretty damn important, and you want to take it seriously,
Yep.
then you need to know who you're speaking to and exactly what it is you're trying to say to them. And then everything else will be built beautifully on top.
Rock and roll.
Hey,
You got it.
Okay.